Have any of you ever gone to the website realgirl.com? Have any of you done that? Realgirl.com.
Oh, you mean those dolls that look like they're... Oh, they look like real people.
Uncanny Valley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, how do you know about
really
that?
Shocked. These are some of the questions that these people ask. This is realdoll.com is like an upscale version of those blow-up dolls. Okay,
Right.
They cost like what, $7,000 or something like that, or more, or whatever.
Oh God.
I mean, you got to really explain that if you die. I mean, and your relatives have to now divvy up your property. What the fuck that was doing in the house?
That was so
Can I,
carpool lane.
Is that you, Laurel? You want to do it again? You coming back for more?
You know, we need a service you put in your will, like when I die, someone needs to go through my house and get rid of some things before the family finds
you got to. Yeah, absolutely.
Delete my browsing history. Delete my browsing history.
I mean,
the first thing in your will.
Stuff, you know? Gee whiz, I got one drawer with Lalos, and I got another drawer with anal products, and I got all sorts of shit around here. I don't want anybody in my house. You
just torch
and then my lawyer has to come in the second life and find all of you and invite you to the funeral so that my family knows what the fuck I've been doing for 8 years. And I want you to come all dressed the way you are now, okay? Don't go getting ready in your regular clothes. Show up like this, okay? It'll be like a New Orleans sort of funeral, right?
The Cinderella style.
So there's one guy on realgirl.com. These are the questions that they actually asked. You know, like, I got this product and want to know, I want to bathe and shower with my doll. I mean, please, I can't even read the rest of it if you think Is there anything I need to be careful about, like water temperature or duration?
Oh, God.
To which the reply was, silicone rubber can withstand over 400 degrees of heat. Can you? You can soak your real doll in a hot bath or put her under an electric blanket to give lifelike body heat. I just love it. Oh, God. Here, one guy asked, how do I clean my doll? Here you go. You're going to like this, Laurel. This is just for you. A cleaning kit is included with every doll, which consists of a douche ball and an antibacterial soap. As soon after you've used your doll as possible, flush the cavities out with warm water. So one of these guys finally gets a date with a real girl. I brought the antibacterial soap and this still makes you funky. It's what I learned.
Sounds like
I thought girls liked that.
Extensive research on it.
He's trying to pose her during sex.
How much weight can the doll support? Real dolls can safely support over 400 pounds. So hop on, big boy.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. I can't get that in my head.
How does sex feel with a real doll? Well, actually, the doll isn't very happy with real sex. No. When penetrated, a vacuum is formed inside the doll's entries, which provides a powerful suction effect. This is supposed to be the strongest. This effect is strongest in the real doll's oral entry. Some real doll users have reported intense orgasms due to the specific feature. If you're especially interested in oral sex with your doll, we recommend you buy dolls with larger mouths.
Oh, gosh.
How about this? Somebody wrote this. Does the doll swallow or spit? No, they didn't write that. I made that up. All right, come on.
Suck, blow is just an expression.
Yeah, somebody else has, do I have to talk to her afterwards? No, I made that up.
Oh,
just go take a shower.
Okay. All right. Can you imagine? One person brought his doll home to meet his mother. Can you imagine if you're his mother and he walks in?
Oh, my God.
There is a movie about like that. You know that.
Well, wasn't there a character on one of the Cleveland show? Remember one of his friends? That was his living girlfriend was a doll.
No, that was Family Guy, and that was Quagmire.
No.
Come on up here, Catboy. It's your turn now. Okay. I've done enough nonsense.
Yep, it's Cleveland show. Yeah.
God knows.
It was the dwarf.
Tim Galvin knows about every movie and every TV show.
No, I don't.
Cleveland show. I remember that. By the way, you were talking about.
By the way, before you go, Catboy, let's just ask: is everybody having fun at least? Is it a good Tuesday night? Are we doing all right? Yeah. All right. Hello, Majik. Yeah, good. Because I didn't know.
Was it Lauren? You were talking about Real Doll in Japan. Someone does their own version of Real Doll in Japan, and it's supposed to be mechanical, like it actually moves around. And it's
Artificial
programmable and it does
intelligence.
stuff like that. They said the only thing it can't do is stand. And they said, why didn't you make it stand? Well, it doesn't really have to if you think about it.
Ew.
Anyway, I was going through some things in the news, but I was wondering, have you ever had anyone borrow something from you, and when you ask for it back, they say, well, what do you need it for? Why am I explaining this to you? That's my stuff. Seriously, it's mine. I don't have to explain why I need it to you. Anyway, I was on Reddit today, and they had a great big AMA from Ohio University, for a bunch of people who work a supercomputer capable of 7 trillion calculations per second. 7 trillion. And I asked them, you ever get on a Second Life with it? And they said, yeah, but you got to turn off the shadows or it's still laggy. Okay. Also, I ran into someone on Reddit, and they said, they had this idea, like, if you showed any modern machine to a person who was from medieval times, let's say if Doctor Who went back, grabbed somebody, brought them to modern times, and you showed them a machine, what machine of the modern days would they think is a torture device? And I said, that's easy. It's anything you'll find in a gym.
Saran wrap.
Saran wrap. I would say a gym, because if you think about it, any machine that was around before electricity that had to be human powered, it all had to actually do something. Like you turn the grinder to make flour, you turn the crank to press clothes, you pump the bellows to feed a furnace for cooking and iron smithing and stuff like that. When you see a gym, they're going to see all this pulling and pushing and turning, and none of it actually does anything. So they'll say, yeah, of course that's insane. That has to be torture. And you know what? They're kind of right, if they would think that. But I found out something today, kind of the hard way. And that is, my mom called me to pick her up at the gym. She goes to the local seniors gym for her classes. Note to self, if you ever visit a seniors gym, never stop to pick up a toasted sandwich, or else 40 people are going to think they're having a stroke. Seriously, think about it. You're 80 years old, you're working out in the gym, and you're asking yourself, why do I smell burnt toast? Now, we have mostly an older audience, and that's what I made that joke for. I know you guys are going to get it. Oh, by the way, recently I ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon. I'll let you know which comes in first.
Oh.
Oh, good one, good one, good one.
All right, I'm going to tell you some jokes about, this was one about North Korea. North Korea, 2 men were talking one day, and he said, one of them said, I want to visit North Korea. I want to see what it's really like there. I want to find out for myself. And of course, the other friend says, well, it's really rough there. I mean, they check the letters leaving the country. If you're going to be there for at least a few months, you can't really write to me and tell me what's going on. So listen, I'll give you an idea. I got an idea. We're going to use a code that not even the North Koreans will be able to crack, and that is, just write to me and tell me you're having a normal vacation. If you use black ink, I will know that everything is fine. If you use red ink, I will know that everything in there is as screwed up as everybody says it is. It's a great idea. So the man goes to North Korea. A couple of weeks later, the friend gets the letter in black ink. Black ink. And it says all sorts of things that are nice about North Korea. How rich it is, how nice everyone is to him. He says, but I only have one complaint, he writes. They don't have any red pens in North Korea. Okay. Now I got a fast food joke for you. All right, I got a fast food joke for you. Fast food. A man comes onto a woman at a bar. He tells her, excuse me, miss, I will pay you $100 if you have sex with me. Well, the woman quickly responds saying, I won't have sex with you with so little money. My boyfriend would be really furious. You see, the boyfriend is the type of person who would only be upset about how much money is involved, right? So the man changes his offer. He says, okay, how about this? I will drop $100 onto the floor. I can do whatever I want to you until you pick up the $100. Does that seem fair? The girl says, well, let me call my boyfriend and see what he thinks. The girl calls her boyfriend, and he tells her, yeah, fine, go ahead, do it. I mean, he won't be able to do anything. He won't even get your pants off by the time it takes for that $100 to hit the floor. Call me once you have the money. So girlfriend agrees. She hangs up and takes the man's offer. The boyfriend is sitting, waiting patiently for the girlfriend to call back. Doesn't call back for 15 minutes. Doesn't call back for 30, then 40. Girl hasn't called back for an hour. Then his girlfriend finally calls back, breathing heavily, and yells, "Why haven't you picked up the money yet?" And the girlfriend exclaims, "He had it in quarters." The reason why that is quarter pounder. Okay, quarter pounder. Bada bing.
Bada
Okay.
boom.
These are not my jokes, but there's no reason why someone else's jokes wouldn't be as unfunny as my own. All right, here's another one from an Irish pub. An Irish pub was having a competition for drinking, because that's what they do. A guy named John O'Reilly hoisted his beer and said, "Here's to spending the rest of me life between the legs of me wife." And that won him the top prize in the pub for best toast of the night. Won him a bunch of free beers. He went home to his wife, Mary, and said, "I won the prize for best toast of the night," he said. And the wife said, "Oh, aye, did you now? And what did you toast?" John would lie, and he said, "Spending the rest of me life sitting in church beside me wife." "Oh, that's very nice indeed," said Mary. "That's lovely." The next day, Mary ran into one of John's drinking buddies on a street corner, and he was chuckling away leeringly and said, "John won the prize the other night at the pub with a toast about you, Mary." And she said, "Aye, he told me. And it was a bit of a surprise myself, He's only been there twice in the last 4 years, and once I had to pull him by the ears to make him come, and the other time he fell asleep." Anyone remember Steve Allen? That's one of his jokes. I love that man. He's hilarious. I love Steve Allen. Okay, I got another joke here, and this is sort of a philosophy. It's a bit of a long one, but it's a good. I really love the story behind this. I like the message behind it. I'm going to tell it to you now, and it's about a Mexican fisherman and an American businessman. All right. Now there was an American businessman. He was touring through Mexico on vacation. He goes across a coastal Mexican village with a small boat and just, one fisherman dock. Inside the small boat were several large yellowfin tuna. The American complimented the fisherman on the quality of the fish, and he asked him how long it took to catch them, and the fisherman replied, it took a little while, a couple hours. The American then asked, why didn't he stay out longer and catch more fish? And the fisherman said he had enough to support his family and his immediate needs. There wasn't any need to. The American then asked, "But what do you do with the rest of your time when you're not fishing?" Well, and the fisherman said, "Oh, I sleep a little, fish a little, play with my children, take siesta with my wife, stroll into the village each evening, sip some wine, play guitar with my friends. I have a full, busy life, senor." Well, the American scoffed. He thought, this is ridiculous. "I am a Warburton MBA, and I could help you. You're to spend more time fishing with the proceeds. Buy a bigger boat. With the proceeds from the bigger boat, you could buy several boats. Eventually, you would have a whole fleet of fishing boats. Instead of selling your catch to a middleman, you can directly sell it to the processor, eventually opening your own cannery. And you would control the product, processing and distribution. You would need to leave the small coasting village and then move to Mexico City, then LA, and then eventually New York City, where you will run your expanding enterprise." The fisherman asked, "Well, how long would this take?" To which the repairman replied, "About, 15, 20 years. "But what then?" asked the fisherman. Well, the American laughed and he said, "Well, that's the best part. When the time is right, you would announce an IPO, you would sell your company's stock to the public, and you would become very rich. You would make millions of dollars." And the fisherman just shrugged and he said, "Okay, I'll have millions of dollars. Then what?" Well, then the American said, "Well, then you could retire, move to a small coastal fishing village where you could sleep late, fish a little, play with your kids, take a siesta with your wife, stroll down the village for the evenings where you could sip some wine and play guitar with your friends." Of course, you could just skip those 20 years and just, that's what he's living right now. Jump in anytime, guys.
All right.
And that's
Thank
all I
you.
have for tonight, everybody.
Thank you, Catboy. Guys, we're going to bring sports back up because sports didn't have a real fair chance. Right? Mike,
Give me-
turn that bloody
give-
thing off.
Give me like
Mike,
5,
turn it off,
maybe
please.
10. Oh my goodness.
Mike, is that you?
No,
Just
it's
kill
good
it.
for
Mike.
Kill it quickly. Okay. Give me like
Is that
5 or
Mike?
10
Is he
minutes.
still doing it, or is it somebody else? I don't know
know.
who it is. All right, come on up, sports.
Give me 5 or 10 minutes. Ramble on about
But we don't have
wonderful
5 or
season.
10 because we can give you 5 full minutes to do. You want 5 minutes on the stage?
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
Come on up. Come on up
Okay,
for
now-
5
now-
minutes. Let's
now
all
the-
give sports a big hand. That was a real tough thing to go through here. And let's just give sports every opportunity because we love you to be up here, sports. Go ahead.
Now that the Wicked Witch of the West is gone. All right, so let's go. All right. So you guys have seen commercials, right? You know those wonderful commercials where they make abs. You like the slap chop, you know, where everybody loves his nuts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But you get
We know
like
him.
you get like sandwich commercials, stuff like that. Like, well, I was flipping through the channels on TV. I stopped for a second. There's a man and woman on a date. They're on a hilltop overlooking the ocean, and they start whipping out food. I'm like, oh, nice! Look at the picnic. And I said this not knowing what was about to transpire. And the lady hands the dude the sandwich, and he grabs it, looking like, "Oh wow, this is beautiful. You do this?" Now I don't know if he was kissing ass or creating convo. Either way, shut the fuck up. The man version of Martha Stewart, ladies and gentlemen. I hope the sandwich. Oh my god, they're playing gestures. I hope the sandwich lives up to its breathtaking ability, and you choke to death. That's all I have to say to the guy. When I call something beautiful, it doesn't ever include eating it after. This is so beautiful. I want to chew it up and shit it out.
Okay.
or the sleazy guy, the sleazy guy that say, "Well, hello there. Why haven't I digested you already?" we have something like that in Second Life. What do they call that? Vor? What is that? Where
Yep.
somebody gets like eaten and.
Yeah, you're a furry. You would know.
Oh, thank you. Oh man. Okay, so like I'm wondering what this guy, what has this guy seen, or rather not seen, for him to be calling a single PB&J sandwich beautiful? Like, has the guy lived in India for the past 50 years? I don't know. Don't get me wrong when you've got to appreciate the little things, but a beautiful sandwich. I speak English, and I don't think beautiful is the correct vernacular for 2 pieces of bread that contains a 2-in-1 squeeze tube. Okay, so it was a Saturday night. Me and the girlfriend.
Crispy, can you stop that, please? Crispy, is that all right?
Yeah. it's
Krispy
pretty-
Kreme. Crispy. I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
cream you in a
Crispy.
minute.
Go ahead, finish it up. Because we got going on to... Crispy? Crispy, you don't want me to do something, do you?
It's all good. Just leave.
Crispy, I'm going to ask you one last time. Gone. Okay.
There we go.
Gone.
Okay, so Saturday night, me and the girlfriend, I'd been dating her for about a couple months now, decided to go see a well-known magician performing at a local theater. The place was packed. It was a great show. So towards the end of the show, the magician asked an audience member to come up on stage, like they usually do, and hit him in the head with a sledgehammer. Yeah,
Yeah.
the audience member said, "I'm not going to do that." The magician told him that he was leaning down, waiting to get hit. He said, "Look, I'm a magician, and I know what I'm doing, so hit me with the hammer." At that point, the audience member swung the sledgehammer, hitting him in the head, and the magician fell to the ground unconscious. After being hit, the paramedics rushed the magician and revived him, but he was still unconscious and now in a coma. They cleared the theater out and arrested the man that hit him, who was soon released. No one ever knew what happened to the magician after the show. Then 6 months later, we were watching the news where they were talking about the magician who had been in a coma for 6 months. On the news broadcast, they stated when the magician came out of his coma, he jumped out of the bed, put his arms to his side like a real showman, and with excitement yelled out to the hospital staff, "Ta-da!"
Okay. Ta-da.
All right, that's about enough for me. I ruined my groove earlier, but that's it.
Gina. All right. And so I'm gonna read you this little part. It just takes a minute, but it's worth it. It's called. This is for you, Dr. Fran, just so you know, okay?
Thank
And
you.
for the rest of you, all right? Less talk, more therapy. My first session with Ann E. began as they all would. I stood against a wall wearing only a sports bra and underwear while she stood against the opposite wall looking me over. She had me face north, south, east, west, and each time her eyes seemed to be tracing invisible lines down my body. Being with Ann E. feels a little like being in psychotherapy, except you're usually lying on a massage table in your underwear. It costs about the same for a session, although it lasts a bit longer, and she doesn't care if you doze through most of it. Settled on a table that first day, I explained to her that I had many intractable physical problems that lasted several years, the most recent being a pain in my knee. This is for you, Orchid. That no medical professional could make heads or tails of. I couldn't sit cross-legged on the floor or rise up out of a full squat, and I'd feel a sharp stab whenever I slipped that leg into my jeans. Some yoga practitioners that my husband knew had recommended I see her about this. After I'd spent 30 minutes on the table, Ann E. still hadn't attended to my knee. She hadn't so much as looked at it. In fact, she didn't even touch me. She just held her open palms a few inches over my body, First at my hip, then my feet, then my other hip, then the top of my head. And I became so relaxed I fell fast asleep in the middle of her talking to me. I barely woke up as she started pressing her fingers into my C-section scar. What are you doing? I asked her. Releasing fascia, she said. Fascia is a connective tissue throughout our bodies that acts like webbing, keeping our innards where they're supposed to be. As she pressed on my scar, Anne E. talked to me about my body in a way I wouldn't really come to understand for many months, but which I could experience the effects of right then and there. She used one or two fingers touching my torso gently until she felt something release, and then she'd move her fingers an inch or two to a new spot and press gently there. I didn't know what I should expect from this subtle prodding, but it wasn't for my lungs to inflate like balloons. As Anne E. worked, my breath deepened, my lungs filled as they never had. My breath just completely changed, I said. Yeah, I just created some real estate in your torso so your lungs are now less constricted. She said. Now she had my attention. Although I have spent about 3 decades, nearly my entire adult life, in talk therapy, I have always felt fundamentally unfixable. My longest therapy stint started in my late... Do you want me to continue this, or is that enough?
What is this about?
If you can find a therapist if you can find a masseuse
That's
like
enough,
that,
okay?
there is such a kind of massage, and it does work, but there are very few people that can do it right.
Myofascial release.
Yeah.
Yes.
This sounds like 50 Shades of Grey to me. It's kind of kinky.
Myofascial release. Is that a new social
No, it's
release?
And,
Yes, I got that.
and does it have anything to do with fascism?
no.
No. So anyhow,
None
you
of
might wonder, you all know what the turkey is here. We're going to leave this for 2 weeks because we're going to be eating one of these. And this is the last week for that turkey to be alive, even less because they're probably getting killed, frozen, and shipped soon. But the fresh ones are probably still alive. They're probably out there saying, which part of this do you want to eat for your last meal, Bob? Gobble, 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 gobble. Okay, I'll have that over there. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Before they are now taken in, and I always like humanely killed. How do you humanely kill somebody? I'm going to kill you, so I want you to relax. Okay, I can relax. Behind me.
Yeah, it's perfectly reasonable.
And by the way, if I get boring, just let me know. I can go back and read that other shit for an hour, okay? So, so if you don't laugh, I'm going to read the other stuff. Yeah.
Threats. Oh my.
Now, behind me is also a turkey. That's the country called Turkey, which growing up, I always found I used to love the concept. I just loved that these countries were next to each other. Turkey, Hungary, and Greece. I figured that they could all get together. It could have been like the new European Union. Instead, we
Thanksgiving.
have Thanksgiving. Yes, that's what they could rename it. Thanksgiving, exactly. Yeah, and perfect that on this part, the Western Hemisphere, we had a country called Chile, because you couldn't have had one over there, right? It had to be over here, otherwise, right? And we also have something called what is it called? St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I always thought that was either a singing group or isn't Grenadine a liqueur or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Grenadine.
the red food coloring you throw in booze drinks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's it. That's the end of the show. I hope you all had a good time. We'll see you next
You never say that when you say that's a show.
Well, listen, this is what happens. This is what happened with Seinfeld. They always said it was a show about nothing. Right. So we finally produced the real show about nothing. So we stepped it up a notch. So here's Thanksgiving, just to read you some of them. I won't take you through all of them because you'll be bored. I'm not going to read you more than the title of it. That's it. But there are 50 states, and each state has a unique dish for Thanksgiving. Michigan is baked German potato salad.
Fuck! No.
Alabama is Lucy's buffet oyster dressing. Alaska is Russian salmon pie. Okay. Arizona is cranberry sauce with chilies. In case you know, if I come to one of your states, applaud. Arkansas is Arkansas is roast heritage, turkey and gravy, and a night with Bill Clinton. Okay. California. California sourdough stuffing with kale, dates, and turkey sausages. That's why nobody has Thanksgiving there. So. I think kale is look. Kale, that's bullshit, okay?
I'm in California. I never had kale in my freaking life.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, right. I'm from Michigan. That was a losing.
I'm from California. Well, I lived in California, and I've never had any of that.
Yeah, I mean, Texas. You've got to say, California, anywhere, kale. That was the little thing they put next to the hamburger when you had hamburgers that you didn't eat. You threw that away. You said, oh, that's
Right,
pretty.
you
I'll
threw it
throw that
away.
Well, you can't eat
Colorado.
it raw. You gotta eat it cooked to death.
Now, you got to love this.
Yep,
This is
boil it.
Colorado. This is really their recipe. Pecan pie bites with gravy.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what happens when you have marijuana as a national.
Munchies. Munchies.
Okay.
That's what happens when
This
you live
is
in
so
America.
Connecticut. For those of you in Connecticut, this is so Connecticut. Quince with cipollini, onions, and bacon. Oh, please, get out of here.
Yeah.
Delaware,
Yeah.
a DuPont turkey, not a regular turkey, but a DuPont turkey with truffle zucchini
classic.
stuffing.
Yeah, Love Canal. Mhm.
District of Columbia, a bowl of white powder. Okay, that's good. Florida, mojo turkey. Georgia, pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
Is it pecan
Oh,
or is it
ooh.
pecan? Pecan or
Who
pecan?
cares? It's yummy either
Hawaii,
way.
mochi rice stuffing. We're getting to all the rest of you. Idaho, Hasselback potatoes with garlic paprika oil.
Well, I
They even know the name of the potatoes there.
Potato.
Illinois, pumpkin
pecan.
soup with ancho and apple. Indiana, persimmon pudding.
Yeah.
Persimmon.
Iowa, Thanksgiving cookies, whatever they are. All right. Kansas, Harvey House candied sweet potatoes. Does any of you know what Harvey House was? That was all the railroad stations had a Harvey House next to them. Yeah, so Kansas is still looking for the railroad to get them the hell out of there. All right, you want me to go through the rest of them? Everybody say yes, or else I'll go back to reading other shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
Kentucky,
Nonchalant.
pocket dressing. We don't know what that is. Louisiana, it's got to be stuffed shrimp, right? Yeah, we know that.
Yep.
Maine, got to be lobster, mac and cheese. You know, why not just the lobster? Do we need mac and cheese with lobster? Just give me the lobster. These guys
Why
are so
would it
cheap.
be
They
mac and cheese? That doesn't go with
yeah.
It's
lobster.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Maryland, sauerkraut and apples.
What?
Massachusetts,
What?
clam and chorizo dressing.
This is
I
a
don't know
really
any of these
sad
people in these
list.
countries. Minnesota,
They're
grape
making
salad.
This all up.
No, I'm not. Mississippi, ale braised collard
No, I'm
greens with
not.
smoked ham hocks.
Yes, you are.
Missouri, St. Louis gooey butter cake. We're going to see which country.
There's no such
This is the
thing.
country I want. All right, not this one. Here, where else? Montana. Oh, look at this. Montana. Yeah. Turner venison steaks. Okay. Yeah, right. Okay. Right. This is my Nebraska standing rib roast. Nothing like a standing rib roast with Yorkshire pudding, right? Nevada, French dip. A French dip. That's stupid. That's the day after. New England, roast turkey. You're waiting for Texas, somebody, right? That's why I'm not
I'm
going to
waiting
do
for
that till
Texas,
last.
yes.
Deep fried turkey. Deep fried turkey.
Dressing.
New Jersey, Snooki's manicotti.
Somehow I
New
have
Mexico, slow cooked red chili turkey. New York, double apple pie.
Yeah.
my-
North Carolina, sweet potato cornbread. North Dakota, lefse. Does anybody know what lefse is? I've never heard Lefse.
Let's see.
The
why I
opposite
know
of
the name is
rightsy.
that place.
It's the opposite of
What?
rightsy. It's an incurable disease.
Ohio. This is
Left.
and this is why everybody's left Ohio. English pea and onion salad for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Are you kidding
great.
me?
P-Bola.
Oklahoma. I've had this in Oklahoma. Green beans casserole. Another dish that you can avoid if it's on the there. Ooh, Oregon cranberry sauce with Pinot Noir. Ooh.
Ooh. Man,
Ooh.
fancy
Pennsylvania has glazed bacon. I like Pennsylvania.
Glazed bacon.
Oh, here's one. Puerto
Road
Rico.
trip.
Mofongo stuffing. What is mofongo? Anybody know what that is?
You don't want to know.
Okay, thank you.
No, definitely you won't.
Mofongo.
Mofongo.
Oh, tell us.
Rhode Island Indian pudding. Yeah, they're
Mm.
still serving
these
those
little
Indians
Indians?
after all those years. Yeah, right. South Carolina salty pluff mud pie. Doesn't sound good to me.
Oh my God. Ugh.
South Dakota pear kuchen, whatever that is.
Cooking.
Tennessee roasted Brussels sprouts with peanut vinaigrette. Won't be eating there either.
Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels.
Texas turkey tamales.
Ah, yes.
Okay. Utah, caramel budino with Chex topping. With Chex topping. They fucking put Chex on top of it.
Yeah.
Where do you get the top it?
That's the box of Chex, the corn stuff. Vermont.
Oh, I thought
Vermont
it was
cheddar mashed
Czechoslovakia.
potatoes. Virginia, corn pudding. Washington, glazed shiitake mushrooms with bok choy. And if you don't speak Chinese, you can't be here. West Virginia, pawpaw pudding.
choy.
What is pawpaw pudding? That's pawpaw pudding. I can't be
Pawpaws
that
is one of those tree
Pawpaws.
tree
Picking
fruits.
Up pawpaws, putting them in their pocket.
Picking
Wisconsin,
up pawpaws, putting them in.
wild rice with mushrooms. That sounds good. Wyoming, the Three Sisters stew. Ooh.
They're all in there.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. The show is over. Thank you so much. And come again next week. when we have
But
a-
one of those third sisters was really tough.
Yeah, right.
So the Canadians
good.
in the audience are wondering what their you guys had your Thanksgiving. This is
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
we did.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
We did.
Yes, we did.
Now, let's
Okay.
go back
Next.
to the show that's about nothing.
yeah.
I have to tell you something about Second Life that I just learned the other day. It's in the wrong language. Do you remember the translator? We used to be able to translate when other people said things, but it didn't really work that well because it really didn't. Because I just translated everything that Laurel said, and guess what? There's somebody coming to burn our house down later. I'm joking. Oh, yeah. But that's going to get, now they don't even mind the N-word jokes. 3 guys are going to call you up now. You've got that sexy voice. So anyhow, how many of you remember when you got an AO the first time and you had to put stuff into it? You had to put, not the AO you bought that was loaded, but you had to load a ZOW. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wasn't that
ZHAO.
something? I mean, that
Still
was,
got my Zow.
yeah. I think that test should be on luminosity.
Huh.
Yeah, well, that's good. But then you were able to buy them. But back then, they didn't even have them to buy. So even if you were rich,
I still got my
oh
zombies.
well, don't worry. We got throw-up bags under the table. Try one. Yeah. So I once asked a Lyndon. By the way, Laurel, just so you know, I happen to be doing the comedy now. So if you're telling jokes down there, that's gonna sort of be whatever. So sit back, be a fan, applaud from time to time, and whatever. And
turn
you
off
can
your mic.
silently talk to some other right. Well, no, just keep the mic on and just laugh and stuff. But hello, yeoman. So anyhow, I once asked a Lyndon. By the way, this was great. I found a Lyndon. You know when they used to help you and stuff. So I went out to one and just said I was pregnant. I was pregnant in Second Life. You guys knew that. I was pregnant. So I went up to him and I said I wanted to know in Second Life how I could get my breast milk certified organic. He had such a rough time with that.
I wonder why they all quit.
Yeah,
It's all
I
your
like this
fault,
other one.
Lauren,
She
don't
said her husband was trying to create a password or something, and he didn't know what to do, so he thought it would be funny, and he typed out PENIS, and his wife fell out of the chair laughing when the computer replied, "Password rejected, not long enough." So here's some games that we could, update and play in Second Life. Do you remember the game of Clue?
Clue.
Yeah?
Yeah, that would work here.
Clue.
Yeah.
Remember that game? So how about this? Yeah. Get the whole game of Clue in Second Life. You know that CSI was in Second Life. You know that, right?
Yep.
Yes, that was fun. We had to do it all the time.
Yeah. I can't remember what got me into games of Transform because I can't remember any of them. I used to write a whole bunch of these things, but I can't remember. Anyhow. So what do you think this Lyndons do in their spare time, since none of them employed anymore?
They're working on Second Life 2. Point.
Yeah.
Yeah, still a Second Life
Knit.
2.0, right?
White Queen says
Right.
knit.
23,871 Abby's survey. Is your Abby gender the same as your first life gender? And the number one answer is, I'm not sure. That was a hell of an answer. You gotta give great kidding. Come on. 543 Abbies were asked, what is there too much of in Second Life? And the number one answer was teddy bears. Of which,
Oh, I like my teddy
Doc
bears.
Fran has all of them. Every one. She has a full collector's
All
thing.
your teddy bears
Yes,
belong
yes.
to me.
Well, they got too many of them just-
273 Abbies were asked, where do you go when you want to relax in Second Life? And the number one answer was Help Island.
Mhm.
Help Island's dangerous.
379 Abbeys were asked, what do you miss most from Second Life Past? And the number one answer, it was tied for 3 items, tied that. Update Wednesday, Zingo, and banking.
Banking.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's banking.
All right.
Here, do you use Second Life for virtual sex? 21% said yes. Often. 51% said yes occasionally. 3% said no, never. And the rest of them said, I'm not sure.
How can you not be sure?
That's
I
a
might
scary.
have
Don't you ever love those? I mean, that's you see these answers, the political answers and stuff like that. They're always stuff like that. All right, what are your genders in First Life and Second Life? Count sexually active Second Life genders only. Male in First Life, male in Second Life. 17% said. 53% said female in First Life, female in Second Life. Male in First Life, female in Second Life, 11%. Okay, Catboy, you and I and a couple of others. Female in First Life, male in Second Life, just 1%. Just 1% of you girls play a male avatar as your primary avatar.
Lauren,
Primary
this is a male avatar.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
kidding.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. That's an entire
I'm a girl
bucket
in
of
real
BS,
life.
you know, by the way.
Yeah.
It's very
And
seldom
I'm
I see
a
one
avatar.
filled to the brim. Male in First Life, both in Second Life, 4.8%. Female in First Life, both in Second Life, 6.5%.
All right.
And 2% said, I'd rather not say. What can't you fucking say about this? I mean, it's not a hard question, okay? I mean, what is I'd rather not say?
It's none of your business.
All right?
Figure it out for yourself.
What's your Second Life sexuality? Straight woman, 31%. Straight men, 11%. Girls, think about this. That's an interesting answer, right? Lesbians, 5%. Gay men, 6.5%. Bisexual women, 29%. Bisexual men, 5%. And this was great, right? 10% said, I'll have sex with anything. Just bring it on. And I like this. 3% said other. Wouldn't you like to know? I mean, that's why we had the question. Yes, we would like to know. Why? What is that? All right, got a problem. How does your First Life partner feel about your second? What is that? You, Laurel? Hi, Laurel. How are you? Working out some new jokes for next week?
She needs them.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, you know, you have to tell that joke to your rich friends. You know, and don't worry, we're going to be storming my place next week. By the way, we know where you all live now.
I have a black friend. Biggest.
She's
How
on
does your
black
First
friend,
Life
he's so
partner
black.
feel
All
about
his
your
selfies
second?
look like ultrasounds, nigga.
Okay. Just let me know when you want me to do the show. I'll be fine trying to give it a shot. You know, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh, go ahead.
How does your First Life partner feel about your Second Life sex life? First Life partner, 30. Right. You got that joke, right? How do you know that? She and he knows and isn't cool with it. Is cool with it. 35%. She or he knows and isn't very crazy about the idea. 3%. She or he
This is
doesn't
too
know and
many
probably wouldn't be
percentages.
cool with it. All right, somebody chatting back there with somebody. Go ahead, finish your thing, and I'll do this joke later.
Yeah. Is this a
What?
math class?
Is this a math class? No.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is,
trying to add up all your percentages.
We don't need to add them up because they're not going to add up to whatever you're looking fucking for. There's always a 11% that nobody knows where it went, okay? And you have add up all the votes. They never come to 100%. Are you kidding? And sometimes they come to 105%. Okay. All right, fuck that joke. You don't like that joke. Okay. I was doing a good joke here. I was trying very hard. You know, I'm getting
Go back
paid
to the
big money
massage.
to do this. Yeah, back to the massage, right? Or how about reading the other thing or something else? Jesus, this is really bad.
Are we on a comet or something?
Yeah, I think something's happened. I'm not sure. Nobody wants those. I thought they were pretty good, and nobody likes them, huh? Okay, let's all go over to Sandbacks and learn how to res prims, okay? We can do that, can't we?
What's this thing you call a prim?
But, yeah, right. Boy, remember the first Mega Prim? And then you touched it, and it was just like a penis after sex. It went shh, right down to nothing. It was unbelievable. Yeah. Does anybody know, is there a good way to get rid of prim stretch marks? Tendalia, have you been able to get rid of your prim stretch marks from having all those babies? I mean, I had problems, you know, it was really terrible.
Slider to the left.
Oh, okay, right.
Slider to the left. Yeah.
Slider to the left.
Benchmark slider.
Yeah. Do you remember the bouncing boobies? What was that called when they brought those in? Those where your boobies
We
would
still
bounce?
have them,
Everybody-
don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Physics.
Yeah, but now
Crab
people got
physics.
mesh bodies. They don't work anymore. So
Yeah.
I like physic boobies in mesh outfits, and they kind of pop out, and you get the odd flash. That's fucking hot.
he's absolutely right about that. That's true.
I caught a guy overexcited in the old days. You know, they had a room where you could actually go in and try on the stuff as if nobody could see into that room. Everybody's camming into that room. You could just see eyes are popping into the room. Where That's what I used to like when people would put up a border around their property so that nobody could see what they were doing. You know, everybody cam right in. You go, hey, no, you're not doing it right with her. Come on now. Come on. Look, no, don't do that. Don't press that button, okay? She doesn't like it that way. Don't press number 4. Yeah. Yep. Anyhow, none of us real girls here in Second Life buy fake vaginas. We don't need them. We have one. But you boys have to buy something because you don't come with anything, right? You just come with this pouch. Yeah. That must be really kind of depressing to come in as a guy. You know, you go, wow, where's my junk? And it's not even in my trunk.
No.
Oh, I know. That was a very funny. Okay. All right. By the way, did Doc get in here tonight or not?
No,
No,
haven't
Doc?
seen him.
So this
No,
is
Doc.
it. This is the only comedy you
No.
got is my stuff where we bring back Laurel. What do you want to go with,
Yeah.
guys?
Read
Read that.
the list. Read the list.